What's up, lifers? Michael Johnson here with part 2 of Who's Doing Your Emotional Choreography. We hope you liked the first session, and we're excited to bring to you the second part. Don't want to miss it today. We talk about some action steps at the end, and we'd love to hear your comments and feedback. So please feel free to send in any testimonials. If you have great things to say about the podcast, or if you have some suggestions, send them into info@magicforlife.com. We'd love to hear from you. And with that said, we'll cue into the theme song and get right into the second part of the podcast. Hi, my name is Michael Johnson. I'm a ballroom dance professional, a life coach, and a peak performance expert. I'm part of a group of motivated people who are dedicated to attaining emotional mastery and unlocking our full potential. We've realized life is a dance. The ups and downs can spin you out of your mind, but it's time to take back control. It's time to become a lifer. We don't believe others are responsible for how we feel. In fact, we don't believe anyone can make us feel anything. We are a new breed of overachievers. Emotional mastery is our journey, and unlocking our full potential is the key. Welcome to the journey. We are lifers, and this is Magic for Life. When did you finally, at moments in your life, go, you know what? Never again, I'm doing the choreography for this piece now. And I know you have some never again moments in your world, and those moments are usually followed by you being the choreographer of your emotions and your emotional states in your world. Now, if we could just do that all the time, if we could do that on a consistent basis, you be the choreographer of your emotional world. Because remember, emotions are the core of everything. Right? If I sit here and I tap my pen on my face, why am I doing that? Why did I do this? Why did I do that? Oh my gosh, I know I might have just opened Pandora's box. But every little action that you do, you're doing for a reason. And the reason has to do with something emotional, because you need emotions. I know this is a little heavy. I'm sorry this episode has gotten really heavy all of a sudden, but that's okay. I'm happy to have you here getting heavy with me. All right. So when have you been the choreographer? And when you had that never again moment, because it's not always a never again moment. Sometimes it's the other way around. So that's moving away, and sometimes we're moving towards, and we're excited to do something. But have you had success at doing your emotional choreography? Or did you have some failures? And sometimes when we had our failures, we go back to the things that we were doing because we go, well, I tried to make this feel a certain way. I tried to have that emotional state. I tried to feel a particular way, and it didn't work out. So I'm just going to go binge watch Netflix. And I'm not saying you can never do that. Come on, we're humans that need variety as much as we need certainty. And that's fine. But I am saying that sometimes our failures give us the wrong message. And instead of continuing through, we turn and take a left turn at Albuquerque. Yeah, that's what Bugs Bunny used to say. I was from Albuquerque, so I don't know that I appreciated it. But sometimes you take a left turn at Albuquerque and you go, nope, not going to do that. And then you let those other people, those other situations, the social media, the family, the teachers, the parents, be the choreographers of your emotional world. And it's not okay. And it's scary to be the choreographer yourself. And I know, because I am sought after. Because again, I will never not be a dancer. So I know some of you are going, well, I'm not a dancer. That's okay. Just take the metaphor, please. Right? But I will never not be a dancer. And so through my career, I've been sought after for choreography. I'm good at it. I'm faster than your average choreographer. And the choreography usually turns out well, usually, right? But I have run into this thing. And the problem that I run into is that I may think this thing, this trick, this move, this set of or sequence of steps and figures is really cool. And I'm like, oh, that's amazing. And a week later, the couple comes back and they go, we hate this section. And it's like, oh. And so I was that coach once upon a time, and I got upset. And then my couple stopped telling me what they liked and disliked. And I went, no, that's not it. And so I had to take a left turn at Albuquerque. And I started working with them and going, well, what do you like? I think this is really cool. You try to give them the vision and you try to show them what that choreography could be and could do. And as they took it, I taught them how to make it their own. Right? So sometimes it's great to have a choreographer, a mentor, a coach that helps you create what it is that you're doing in your world, your emotional choreography. But you're going to have to put your own spin on it, and you're going to have to learn how to manage, control, and execute your emotions. And if you don't, then those other influences are going to come back and they will choreograph your emotional experience in this world. And that makes life really difficult, because are you living an emotional experience right now that was created for you 10, 15, 20 years ago? Heck, you could have had one created yesterday if you were in a car accident. And maybe you keep living that car accident and the emotional trauma and stress from that accident over and over and over again. I mean, you've all had this experience where a friend of yours, you meet up with them for lunch or you go do something and you go, gosh, you all right? And they go, yeah, I guess I'm okay, but I'm not feeling great. And you go, why aren't you feeling great? And they go, about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, that was a surprise face for those of you listening on the podcast. About 2 weeks ago, I had this experience and I've just been a mess ever since. And you go, wait, 2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago. And my thought, now that I've experienced something different, is, well, stop experiencing that from 2 weeks ago. And I know I'm going to piss off a lot of people. I'm sorry if I'm pissing you off out there. Yes, turn it off. Okay. And some of you go, well, how do I turn it off? That is why you're here at this podcast. That's why you want to hear from me, because I'm the one out there going, turn it off. You can do it. You can turn off an emotion. That doesn't mean you can't have that emotion again. That doesn't mean you can't emotionally connect with it. That doesn't mean you can't have that experience or review it or think about it again or experience it again. But turn it off. Why? Because you can, and you need practice. Now, are there stuff? Now, notice I didn't say delete it. I didn't say get rid of the experience. I didn't say pretend like it never happened. No, turn it off so that you can get control and become the choreographer of your mind and your body again. But don't let your body run your mind. Use your body to help your mind. Use your mind to help your body. Right. And for those of you that haven't heard me talk about the triangle, you need to hear me talk about the triangle. So, I've talked about it a couple times, I think, in the podcast. I'll continue to do it again. If you want to get on our email list, let us know. Just send an email to info@magicforlife.com. We'll get you on our email list. I recently talked about the triangle and the triangle of change. Listen, emotions just don't have to just be auto programs. And I understand that that's kind of what they might be at the moment and what they maybe have become. They don't have to be just auto programs. Usually, if they're running on autopilot, they're not great, because that means you didn't actually consciously think about doing them. They subconsciously ran. Something happened and you felt a way because that's the way you felt 20 times before, but not because you actually chose to feel that way. And there is some challenges between interrupting patterns, right? You got to check the pattern out. You got to interrupt it. You got to actually then create a new pattern. And there's some really cool processes that you can learn to do that. But listen, you don't have to be a slave to other people's choreography of your emotional world. You can actually start to decide. And the best success that I've had with my choreography in recent days, and when people look and give me feedback on my couples that do my choreography, usually the feedback is they look so unique because I have a premise in it that they should be unique, that they should take my choreography as a skeleton, as a blueprint, because see, me as the coach, as the choreographer, I am supposed to give them something that is a skeleton, and they're supposed to put in the blood and the muscle and the guts and the soul of what that choreography is. And so I give them this skeleton, this blueprint, and then we help them come up with their emotional choreography, their world, their choreography they're going to put on the floor and be something special and unique. And when they do that, everybody goes, wow, that's amazing. That's something special to look at. How cool is that? Now, what if you did that with your life? What if you could do that with your life? It is not too late. It is never too late to do this with your life. I felt so bad. I got a comment on one of my advertisements on Facebook the other day, and I felt so bad because this one guy was like, oh, this guy's a BS hustler. And I felt so bad for the guy because he's living a world where he doesn't believe he's in control. He doesn't believe that he can manage his own world. And me stepping out of the box and saying, hey, you have control of your emotions. And he said, I'm talking BS. Wow. I feel bad, and it's unfortunate because he really needs to hear this. But it's okay. There are people out there, and there are people that might talk to you and influence you that are like that. You can't do your emotions. Baloney, you can do your emotions. Your emotions are like dance steps and figures. They're there to create an experience. And for those of you that have not seen ballroom, go pull up a ballroom video. It'll give you an experience. And if they're a good couple, you will experience an emotion, maybe a lot of emotions. And that's what's so fun. And that's why dance is so maybe installed in my heart, because it allows us to experience and feel and do something that is special in that moment, even if it's the same choreography. And this is where I think life really has something cool to offer you, because you can have the same choreography. And I know sometimes we have to interrupt that choreography in order to install new emotional choreography. But you could have the same routine. You could get up at the same time, do the same actions. You could go to work the same way. You could do the same work every day. You can interact with your family the same way every day. You could do all of those things. Those could be your actual routine of life. And you can still have different emotional choreography that you put on top of that in order to experience life in such a new way. And you don't have to move to Budapest and change your life and do something different. And I think that's what people think they have to do. And maybe you have to interrupt it initially, but you don't have to change your routine permanently. You have to change your ability to have an emotional experience in that routine. And so, I like to give you things to do. So I want you to think about this. Earlier on, we got out who actually are influencing or who are the choreographers of your emotional world in your life up to this point. And I'd like to think that maybe you would do this. Take a few minutes right now and take out a journal or something to write down and say, hey, you know what? What piece of my life, what emotional choreography do I want to change? What do I want to change? What should I get better at? What do I need to get better at so I can take that next step? Because you only need to do one. You only need to do one. One emotion right now in your world is something that you're addicted to and is taking advantage of your life right now. And it is not something you're in control of. And I am not telling you to delete it. I'm telling you, you need it. So how are you going to deal with it? Well, that's another conversation. But right now, identify it. What emotion are you addicted to? And where did you get that choreography? It's time. It's time to take a look at that and go, you know what? I'd like to fix that. I'd like to take that to a new level and understand we're not going to delete that. You've gained something and you are here today because of that. And maybe you just need to learn how to control it better, manage it better, and execute it better. And that way you can start choreographing your emotional world better. See, maybe you just didn't learn to be a choreographer. And that's it. The dancers that are never going to make it in our dance world are the ones that are doing other people's choreography, putting their hand where they're supposed to, looking here and giving a face, at the right time because their coach said to, they're not going to make it. And if you're one of those, because I know I have a lot of dancers listening, if you're one of those dancers, you're not going to make it. You will quit. That is a guarantee. And or you will figure out how to put your soul into it. And if you don't, I'm sorry, you're living a half-baked, emotional dancing life. And I'm sorry, that sucks. Kind of sucks to be you, right? But if you're doing that in your own world, not even talking about dance, hey, if the dancers can do it, you can do it in your own life. And if you're experiencing that in your own life, wow, again, I feel sorry for you. And there are tools. There's lots of tools. I can share with you tons of them. I'd love to share with you tons of them. If you'd like to find out more, send an email in, info@Magic4Life. We'll send you tons of information. We would love to help you. We would love to help you change your world, change your emotional choreography, and you'll change your world. I'm so excited to share this with you today. I'm glad you joined me today, and we'll pick it up on the next podcast. But if you know somebody this will help, please share the YouTube channel with them. Share the podcast. They can listen on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google. I like Google Play because I'm an Android guy, but it's all over the place. Anyway, share it. Change somebody's life today, and take some action. Decide and figure out who did your choreography, and decide if you're ready to do your own, and I'll teach you how to be a choreographer. Anyway, we'll see you on the next podcast. Thank you for joining me. Peace out. Bye-bye. Hey, lifers, don't forget to get your free copy of the Every Minute book. You can find it at everyminutebook.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram.